Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three. I had to make sure it was actually on the mic feature, but shout out to you guys. Happy Saturday night. Happy October 18th to everybody. Probably already the 19th on some parts of the world. But shout out to you from the You Will Make It TV. We hope that everybody's feeling blessed and being is, because that's a part of life, counting your blessings every day. So when we say blessed, we hope everybody had a blessed day. Uh, and it's a safe day as well, because over the weekend it do having to be more people out there uh, riding around and just out and about. You know how that is on the weekends. But uh, if you're a football sports fan, shout out to you guys out there today too. You probably spent most of today watching football, or probably will sometime this weekend. We're back with a part two insightful live topic. Of course, this live will be just like the last one, where the chat feature is actually off. No, it is not nothing wrong with your device. We turned the chat feature off temporarily, but you guys will still be able to interact with the reaction features as well as the like or dislike button, and you can always help give us views as well. We do appreciate your support. We had been coming back weekly, making sure that we share some commentary and reaction to, and actually share awareness about uh, domestic violence. Everybody knows about it, heard about it, seen it somewhere, even if it was on a movie on TV. You see what I'm saying? When people get a little sensitive when you bring up domestic violence, but it's like just one of those things, just like blindness or any other thing a person could experience in the world. It's just something to be aware of. And that's what they reserved the month of October for. I think it's been around since the 80s now, y'all. I'm surprised I don't have my notes in front of me actually, because every topic is not specifically directed at that, just because I'm helping to spread awareness in the month of October. But I do want to keep them like surfaced around that. You know what I'm saying? The topics that I do share here on the channel this month, because I feel like the awareness month does deserve reverence. We'll celebrate Christmas and all this other stuff. What about breast cancer awareness month? Or it just be so many other awareness periods going on, like days that have actually been legally approved, days, months, and all of this, weeks. That's what the Day of the Dead about, Halloween, all of that stuff, all of those dates were reserved and became that day or some kind of national holiday or observation day or month for a reason. And that's another part of awareness. You thought, oh, that's why a lot of people, they automatically feel ashamed about it. A woman might put on some sunglasses or a handkerchief or something to try to cover it up, which is not funny. I'm trying to give examples anybody could understand. Like, it just goes to show you that there was even a time in history it was more common for people to keep those type of affairs quiet if that's something they might have been going through at home. And we know that with awareness too, we have to mention that men as well also get, I don't know, they just go through kind of like domestic disputes sometimes too. It must be hard. I know it has to be hard for anybody. But men, the way they're stereotyped, it's pretty much just about, I don't want to say it's about pride and ego at the end of the day, but it's it worse for them too, because everybody look for their reaction when it come down to certain disputes in life. I kind of feel men with that. I'll never try to be a man or feel they pain with everything in life, but I mean, abuse to anybody is horrible, right? Uh, and it's even worse when people just expect you to be the most masculine and the main head of the relationship, why would he want that to be openly known by people that his spouse, regardless of what sex the spouse is abusing him in some way? Because I've been noticing that a lot in modern society as well when it comes to domestic violence awareness. It is not just limited to man on woman type relationships, right? It be relationships. It could be two men, two women. It could be a some type of polygamous relationship. If they're toxic and they argue a lot, it doesn't matter what sex you are. You get with another person that does that. What do you think is? What do you think you're asking for? Like, and it's one thing just to be toxic and you don't understand and you're trying to find your way in life, but to know you're that, and I don't know, I guess that is healthier to get to, if you're gonna date and be in relationships, be with people are like that too. Don't bring out I mean, because to enjoy the toxicity is just crazy. Like, you actually get a thrill or something out of it. Not everybody enjoys that in a relationship. Plus, I think it's a plus for the ones that are like that. We're not gonna look at them strange. That it just keeps you out of things in that way, because toxicity can lead to another thing. Once it's toxic for too long, what does toxicity do? It's gonna end up making you sick somehow, pretty much. They want you they want you to look like you talking about things out here, but you don't know what you're talking about. But life actually lies itself before our feet every day, like a carpet. Like, come on, where our experiences just be right there in people's face, speaking for us. And so, how can you still be out here trying to make people look like they don't know? You might not like the way they talk about it, or that they talk about it at all, but just to tell a person they don't, it's just funny. Just tell a person they don't know what they talking about. It's funny to me. Like, I guess it's possible. Why would your mind even think to do that, right? Like, to even do that to a person. So we gotta thank God. I just thank God when I saw that side of God, like, he's very humorous. Where do we think we got the laughter bone from? This is supposed to be an inspirational quote channel for those that might be new to you or Make It TV and stuff like that. But I share quotes like that all the time. Like, how I see God in a new way, I might just share that openly. I don't mind talking about that, because maybe I just like didn't know him, or I wouldn't say my faith was as strong, like my whole, like some people faith probably been the same they whole life. Me, I can't testify that. My faith changed like over the years. It's some periods I feel like, oh, it's gotten much stronger. Some periods you feel like, hey, it was weaker where it could have been stronger. One thing I can notice for sure though, I don't know what they be trying to prove with people. Like, oh, we don't notice signs of faith in your life, because even sometimes where you don't have enough, that's the point of the Bible telling us all you need is a must, right? Like, it never said you had to bring and show the most offerings and the most. I mean, of course, those would be acts to show that you really want something, but that would be saying the people that have nothing can't apply faith in life. That doesn't make any sense. Right? Everybody talks about all sacrifice and stuff, but we're not talking about the people that have nothing enough. Cause then what do they have to give if they have nothing to offer? So I know God understands that. Uh, and if you have nothing to offer with him, that might be okay. He's authentic in that way. He understands. You might be coming with on your last leg, literally. I think it's just cool and evil to want more from a person when they already on their last leg. Like, what else can they give you? Their other leg? Like, come on, bro. Uh, so I just think I would always be a good advocate, a good candidate for these kind of awareness topics. Another one, let me see what other kind of awareness I've been more vocal about mental health awareness as well. especially when it comes to like people could think it's not a trending topic, but it is. People are talking about it more for sure. They didn't know so many people really they can from the outside look at videos on the internet or see people in public and judge it, but they really everybody is not built like with the patience and endurance and love that it takes to cater to and help somebody who needs assistance in their way when it comes to mental health barrier or maybe the people that even live in the nursing homes or they be in the hospitals for long periods of time. So shout out to nurses and doctors and stuff for what they do, like medical personnel. My question was, should we already start moving that direction? Some say it is like that, that society was moving that direction anyway, where it's like more things are gonna meet the people than it is. Either way, either way, that's why we're here to talk about it a little bit. Because if it starts to meet the people more, would it seems like either way, thing if you're not careful, things can end up being a handicap or crutch for people. That's what makes it challenging to talk about, you know. Because I just was saying it seemed like it's too many victims and stories out there that, like, did people just not know who to call? Because sometimes people just be like, call and ask for help or ask for help and see something and say something. Just because you call don't always even mean help. Like, what do people have their faith in these days? That don't mean help is going to get there in time. That's number one. You don't. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Like, clearly, I'm not trying to sound negative, but that's real. Anytime you call for help, it's not promised that while you're calling for that help or while help is trying to arrive there, that you're gonna get overcome whatever it is by the time help gets there. Okay, what is people like faith and hope really in then? They just be like call for help. Like, are people being led to the proper, like you don't just get pamphlets every day with numbers written all over them. You used to have what they called a phone book, like the yellow pages. That's as close as we ever been to that. If you don't have like an actual source giving you a list of resources, maybe for something that could help you. Because for sure, like I was telling people, a resource or assistance doesn't always absolutely have to do with money. Like what? Just you calling one place that helps people, right? Like you call the actual right place, like that's all they specialize in. They actually help people. They might not help you, but you might end that phone call or that visit or that appointment with 12 more phone numbers or 24 more phone numbers or 36 more phone numbers that you can call when it that's more of a head start than you had from having no assistance or help at all. Now you have more phone numbers you can at least call around and check into. I think people just, I was like that at one point in life too. Like if something just didn't go right and I feel like I planned it a certain way, I did have it bad about wasting time. Like you can almost waste time being disappointed. And that same time that you wasted being disappointed, it's not saying that things in the world don't matter, but we're talking about the value of time too. That's one thing about time. Most of us would agree you do not get it back once it's spent. It's almost as valuable as money, if not more valuable, people's time. That's why they get paid by the hour. If you notice that most jobs pay that way, because time is going to be just as valuable. Um, it's just really deep. People be out here scarred. That be the main reason they be hurt, because they feel like they put in so much time. That shows you a lot about a person, even if they never say words like what they use their time doing. Most people would say that, yeah. Or like if what they spend their time doing changes a lot, that matters too. Like, okay, so they use their time switching up their routine a lot. Some people, yeah. Some people they like to live on a more expected, like a more planned schedule. I was just saying when I was once like that, I remember going through different phases in life. That's all I'm saying. So I can use myself for an example first. My streams, commentary, and reaction is never targeted at anybody. When I can use myself as an example, I can go straight to stories about my own self and personal experiences. Like I don't have to be talking about anybody else. Like why? Because we were taught that it ain't what you do is how you do it, and I wouldn't have to do it that way. I can reference to my own self where I'm coming from with certain points. you know, and once upon a time, yeah, I was like that. Like I would get highly, highly frustrated if a plan didn't go exactly, and it wasn't with anybody else. It was like my own personal plans for myself. What you mean? How is that narcissist? That's why I say to me it seems like awareness is talking about how to me I went ahead and settled for the conclusion that everybody has a little narcissism in them. Everybody has a little part of them that wants some type of control over their own life. And then, it just gets deeper from there. Because, like, why wouldn't you want some type of control over your life? They would say something wrong with you if you just. I guess that's a way you can make people look like that. If they overlook or miss too much in their own life, they don't have enough regard for their own life. They don't deserve their life. That's weird. Because, yeah, you're going to miss a step or two sometimes in life. That's crazy. So that means you just undeserving of your whole life from there? You know? It's just questions. You guys feel free to, after we post the stream, the comment section will still be open for those that might want to leave comments and stuff like that. But in the chat, I did turn the feature off from now on when I do the live streams. People can just leave reactions or like the videos if they want to. But anyways, the message is what matter and what count at the end of the day too. But I say everybody have a little bit of narcissism in them. That's crazy. Everybody wants some kind of possession or control of their own life first, don't they? I don't know. So that's where people be coming from. Like, where do people be having so much time to want? We see if you're a boss or a manager, somebody who actually does this for a living, like control people's time. um, More services meeting the people would mean more, I guess, community type interventions too. Like you got to know what's going on in communities and what they need to even meet them, right? And when we say meet them, did we mean 50-50? Or because the world will never be like that where organizations or are we going that way where it always is like that. When people get in a crisis where they all need help, that's where they come in with some type of assistance. And people just be running and flocking to the assistance. I had said that just because of how I was feeling, that if they do that again, I wasn't going to like accept the assistance if it end up being some type of crisis or something, because people seem to just flock to that. And maybe it wouldn't be, because right now the government is shut down, so it would be a terrible time for stuff like that to even transpire, where extra assistance needed to be rolled out to the public and to the nation in that way. Because, you know, you got FEMA, all those people have to be paid too. So the government shutdown affects many, many different people in different branches of work that they might do. I just want to stop and, even as a young person, consider that every day. That might seem to have nothing to do with me at all, but it does. We're all a part of this here. We're all in a nation, so I just feel like everybody else with it. Like, you hope to see it get better, and hope is beautiful, but when I say get better, why why it looks so much like you do now, it is being thin and shaken up a little. We can all see that. Physically too, because the weather's been shaking things up too. Before it has anything to do with politics or money or anything like that. I don't know why this movie just came to me, but at the end of that movie, The Mummy, it was that one scene where they, after that long battle and fight they had just did out there in Egypt, they end up I don't even know if they knew it was on their camels and horses, but they had all kind of bags of gold leaving out of their city. And y'all just don't know, unless you've seen that movie, what kind of fight they had put up. And it was just the way they ended up with it. Cause the other travelers and historians they were traveling with, they had got too greedy and they were trying to take too much gold out of those pyramids. Just stupid. They just thought they could go in there and touch things that probably had been prayed over, ancient rituals done over years ago. In case people like them, they call them vultures, and just all kind of wild people trying to come in and take your treasures and riches after you're dead. And that has been said and known in some cultures. They already do rituals over that stuff because they want it to stay passed down in their bloodline only, if anything, not vultures just coming in and stealing it. So the movie shows that all those guys ended up like cursed. Before they didn't even leave the city with none of that gold. They got close to it. They got to hold it, feel it. Right when they thought they was gonna take it out the take it out the city, though, it's a very scary movie. I consider that a horror. Talk about Halloween and scary movies. The Mummy was scary back then though, cause like it looked more realistic for what we had as technology on that movie. But it was just kind of trying to show us something, as with most movies do. It's like you can't call nobody a witch over that or nothing. Like if long ago their heritage blessed the money in a way or did rituals over it in a way, the fortunes or the inheritance of the people, they be thinking, oh, that prayer was from years ago. It don't matter. Why do you think those hieroglyphics and stuff be on the wall too? Like, you don't know what all entails of the rituals different cultures did over their finances and stuff. I don't know why people think a prayer from centuries and millenniums and BCs ago would still apply today. I don't know. It's worth, to me, it's interesting because I really believe that you could have people. That's why I try to be like that now. Like, I go ahead and pray for like future generations. I don't have to know what the future is going to look like. Man, it might be a time where they have driving cars, flying cars for real. I don't know. I know I'm not gonna always be here. So, you know, there is other people that matter outside of you that ain't even on this earth yet. Ain't that a crazy way to think about it? But it's true. And like, do people care? If you just littering today and tearing up the earth today and polluting everything today, like, do the people of the future even have a chance? But there are some of us still out here, even if it's very rare, that like secretly pray for like future, or like you already blessing and praying over things. I don't see absolutely anything wrong with that. Maybe even in covenants, it's been said that people in the Bible did that. Like, they made whole covenants. They future generations meant that much to them. As there's other folklores and stories of other countries, they made covenants too, but it was probably to more of a darker entity or something like that. But there were people that made covenants with God. Like, yeah, God, if you take care of my heritage, my bloodline for the rest of the day, it's people prayed that years and years ago. That's what I'm trying to tell people. They already made that whole pact and agreement over that's already been made over their bloodline. When people talk about the mark, who the 144,000 might be and stuff like this, it makes you think. Because you don't have too many just doing that every day. Not just praying for their current circumstances or trying to get a better understanding of past Bible texts or past history texts all the time. Like, what about what we're applying for future generations? Should more resources and services, or does it depend, especially during government shutdowns and stuff like that? Uh, you know, that's what people mostly wondering. Most people, they just stocking up, warning people to go ahead and stock up. Of course, they've been trying to kind of warn people about that. Like, it's just better to be more prepared than none, right? Anything could abruptly happen. It doesn't matter how much you have. Like, what? Anything that's tangible could be touched. So it's just a vain way to think to me. Like, of course, be as prepared as you can be, but also remember, like, you got, if it's a state of crisis like that, it's gonna be people out here trying to get what they can get too, because now you got more people hurting, you got more assistance cut off and all of that too. That's got to be expected. I'm not saying we fear, it's like people are thinking about that side of it too. Why would I just be wanting to sit up with a bunch of stocked up stuff and I know the people down the street is barely holding on by a string, even if it is just during a government shutdown, or maybe it may prolong. People are already talking about that. Like, what are we gonna do for Thanksgiving in the month of November? You shouldn't just be thinking about holidays no more. That's the point. You can think about them, but you should have been thinking about that when you were celebrating them too. Every year, if you notice, most of these holidays fall either at the very end of a month or very beginning. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I did start to notice that over the years. Like, at the end of the month is crazy because right after that, your rent is usually due again. Your mortgage, your rent, like New Year's. It doesn't matter. It's going to be New Year's every year. And your rent is still going to be due. You think the landlord care? They might be closed for that day because it's a holiday. You think they care that it was New Year's and New Year's Eve? You better still have your rent money. You think they care because you needed to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas while you don't have your rent money. But I bet that is a period of the year, every year, that people come up short on their rent. People have always chose to prioritize holidays over their basic needs. Don't wait now and start talking about it. Like, oh, it's November. What are people going to do in November? It's going to be Thanksgiving. Now people ain't going to be able to celebrate. And yeah, people like, well, you could just go to food banks. That's crazy. If you have a uptick in people going to food banks, clearly even the food banks are not going to have as much food anymore. Eventually, something like that would happen. That's crazy. That's like a whole food control at that point. Everybody going to the same place. It's no longer Walmart. Everybody backup plan is the food bank. That's crazy. It proves people really have been living paycheck to paycheck then. If that was their backup plan, like, oh, I'm gonna just go to food banks, or you just gonna tell people that was their backup plan? It's weird. Or, well, we being nice telling you about food banks. Food banks been out, they been existing. They been out here every month, every year. With those places too, like I said, they've always been like that. Some of them you come based by appointment. Some are just walk in. They have qualifications. Now, of course, going to do something like that, that's what we're talking about. Should the services and need uh, things like meet the people more because of course going to a food bank is possible if if you happen to have transportation. So yeah, this will be interesting. Everybody sitting back watching it like if the government shutdown ends up rolling over into November as well, just like how that would be really affecting people out here. Cause the schools and stuff need their funding. The kids and stuff got to eat up there. People already just kind of, they always try to do that, like predict. They start getting scared every time it's a government shutdown. But a lot of people do agree this time it seemed different for whatever reason. They do it almost every year, don't they? They end up doing it around the same time of year. Or sometimes it be around December, January, like tax refund season time. That's when you might see a shutdown again. Like people act like it haven't happened before. And you'd be like, why are you so calm? Cause some of this, it makes sense to be calm. Some of this stuff, people panicking, and we've seen it, we've seen it over and over again. Like, why panic now? I don't know. If you don't have, you just telling people, yeah, food banks, and that's supposed to be the, that's supposed to be their backup plan, bro. If you have an overload of people suddenly coming to those places and soup kitchens and places like that just to get a meal every day, like it would probably at some point get a little chaotic. When I say chaotic, I don't mean the people. I mean, yeah, at some point you would end up running out of food, wouldn't you? Or you have to ration it a little more if more people got to go there because of the shutdown. Okay, come get it. Come get it. Hmm. Here, say thank you. Mm-hmm. Here, thank you. I don't know. It make you think, cause like that's why those ration boxes and stuff actually might have to. Cause I don't think food banks is the answer. Mm-mm. It's people been going to those. I'm trying to tell y'all, like a lot of people, even before food stamp budget cuts were happening, um, a lot of people were out still needing help with food, bro. And that's another thing, I guess, or 101 fact for people that they might not have known. Just because people get food stamps do not mean they were not spending cash on food. Like, I don't know what world people live in or why more people who were once recipients. It's called awareness. Like, speak up about it. It's okay. What was your experience with them? So, plus, I've already said this on many streams. Nobody should be in a cycle of needing assistance over and over and over again. Like a whole generational cycle, that's crazy. Like, oh, the grandma needed food stamps, the mom needed food stamps, now the daughter needed food stamps. Now the granddaughter get food stamps with her kids. Like, nobody should be living through a cycle that long anyway. They was like, I was just saying that part mattered because they made it like if you get food stamps, you don't really pay for food out here or something. I don't know what world they in, but we we still spend cash or use regular debit cards and bank cards like everybody else on whole food. I heard some people been using Klarna, uh, pay in increment type banking apps just to pay for grocery orders these days. And that's crazy because you usually use that for like products or like retail merchandise. Like I heard people been having to use that. That's been circulating news, but like They've been having to use that to pay for food. It's really crazy. When I say food, like maybe like a whole grocery order or a whole food order, if you're gonna pay back $200 for example, in $50 increments for 4 months, you better make sure you use that 200 on groceries and you didn't just use the 200 on getting you some red lobster for one night. People do stuff like that. They encourage people to treat themselves, right? It's just funny, my thought process about it. Like, they be like, treat yourself, or you gotta spoil yourself and love yourself. Do people know that never meant you gotta spend an arm and a leg just to do that? They don't say that part though. They just be like, treat yourself sometimes. Especially if you're a parent. What, boo? Mm-hmm. They be like, treat yourself. A person go out there and buy them a $1,000 puppy, or they just seem to make these big You know, your purchases have to make sense. They was out here judging people, and it just didn't make sense. Cause like, if you get food stamps, that never meant that you don't spend tangible cash sometimes on food as well. Especially when you're on the go, people will grab a coffee, or ice soda, and you're gonna end up spending some money. I don't know. I think people thought that because you get the EBT funds in one period or time that you don't spend cash on food. That is so crazy. I'm bringing this up because yeah, like once again, you can throw that in people's faces all you want to. Like, oh, there's food centers, there's food distribution centers, there's food banks. Ain't no way, no. If everybody in the cities start having to go to food banks, eventually the food banks are gonna run out of food. Just like with COVID-19, if you have too many people coming to the hospital at the same time, coming to the food bank at the same time, all these type of places just to get help, it will start to get a little chaotic. Like everybody there for the same thing too, like the same exact thing, trying to fight hunger. I'm saying before the SNAP EBT cuts and stuff though, there was a lot of people already lining up at those kind of places just to come and get food. And they never did have a limit on it. Like, I guess people thought that was a scam. No, that's never been a scam. If you want to go to 20 different community food banks in one day, I don't know if that's possible. Let me make it more realistic. If you want to go to 5 different food banks in one day, you might not have went to 5 different grocery stores. You might not have went to 5 online shopping retailers, but you went to 5 free community food banks. And so now you just come home and brought home probably 2 boxes of food from each food bank. And so now you went from an empty kitchen to maybe things you didn't buy or choose, but you just went from an empty kitchen to a kitchen that's now replenished with at least some options of things that you can prepare for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's always been a point of food banks. Why are we bringing it up? The topic title says, should more services, emergency services, be, meet the people versus how it's always been, and the people have to go crawl and go dig pretty much and look for the resources that they need. I'm not saying that the people should be lazy, but Maybe we should have more databases when it comes to certain prices of specific. It should just be more readily available to the people. I knew I wasn't tripping when I was saying it years ago.